Hello everyone, it's Kari here again today, and today we're going to be making a scene card using this stamp set from Missing Stamps called Ice Day. And look at all these cute penguins on there, and this scene builder stencil, which is called Treeline. And I love this stencil because you can build a slimline card with it, you can use it on A2 size cards, whatever you want. And we're going to build up some interesting colored trees with some blues and greens. And I've got my domed blending tools here. I started out with those, but I ended up changing to my blending brushes. But starting out, I went ahead and added some tumbled glass to the top before adding any trees. This is going to give us kind of a skyline, just a light skyline, but the trees are going to be the main event here, at least for the background. Wait till those penguins come along though. Since I know I'm going to be moving this stencil a lot, I'm just taping it down a little to the panel and a little to the stencil. And you can see I'm having a little issue getting this Distress Oxide on. I'm using the Uncharted Mariner, which is now my new favorite color. I probably say that with all the new oxides that come along. But you can see that I have a much easier time with that brush. It doesn't get stuck on those tree cuts nearly as much as the dome blending tool. So I switched to the brush for all the rest of these. So there's our very first row of trees. Now I'm going to move it down just a touch, enough so that I can add an extra set of trees in between these two, because I want some lighter trees in the middle. Now I'm going to go in with this Pine Needles Distress Oxide and create a layer of trees. And you can see that I turned that stencil around. You can actually use both sides of this stencil, which is really, really awesome. They are a little bit different. They offer you a different tree top, and so it's fun. So now I'm going to go in with some peeled paint oxide, and I'm using this same side as the previous green color. I'm not cleaning off my stencil because it's really kind of fun to get that variation in colors of green. So it's a little bit darker on the top where I'm inking it over, and then you get that peeled paint color truer to the bottom of this trees. It's really fun. Now every time I place this stencil down, I am shifting it a little bit to the left or the right so that I get some trees in between where the previous line of trees was. This here is Twisted Citron, and again, I'm not cleaning off that stencil, so I get a variation in greens. It's kind of subtle, but it's still there. And now I'm going to add those lighter trees to the top. And I'm adding them lighter because this gives the feeling that they're far off in the distance instead of closer up. So I'm going with tumbled glass at the top here. Then I'll move it down and add one more layer of trees between the blue and the green. There is our background panel so far. So isn't this a neat stencil? You can do this in any colors you want. You can change it up. You can do it rainbow colors. It's a really fun stencil to play with. Now I'm going to take the alternating dot stencil and I'm going to use some grit paste over this. This is the Snowfall grit paste. It's so fun to use this. It actually looks a little like snow, but it is transparent. So what that means is this is going to dry a little more clear, but it's going to give you that snowy look with a little bit of glitter. But if you're anything like me, it's not glittery enough. So I'm actually going to add one more layer to this. While the grit paste is still wet, I will sprinkle over some large iridescent glitter. Now I'm just cleaning off the edges a little with my finger so that I don't get any sharp edges with that grit paste drying like that. And I'm just going to take a scrap piece of paper, excuse all those lines there. I use this one for coloring. Now I'm going to add that glitter. So this is thick, kind of a chunkier glitter. It's really pretty, and it's going to stick to that grit paste. And when the grit paste is dry, I will brush off any of the excess glitter. So I'm going to leave that be for now while I color up these penguins. Now I've previously stamped these with my favorite Copic coloring ink, the Remarkable Eclipse Black ink. And now I'm going to color it up with some yellow And then I'm going to add some orange just a little bit and blend that out with the yellow. That will give it a little bit of a blend here. And that's pretty much going to be the only color on these penguins. Now I'm going to go in with some cool grays for the snow. So I'm going underneath that snowbank with the darkest cool gray color, which is the C3. And then I'm going to blend that out a little on the top and the bottom with the C1. And you can see I'm just kind of blending it through really very quickly. This gives you the idea of some shadows on that snowbank, and it will still appear to be white. But this gray adds those beautiful shadows. Now I'll go in with the C0 and blend that out just a little bit more, not too much. Still want some of the idea of that darker gray. And then I'll go in with the colorless blender and blend that even out into the white. So that's our snowbank. So simple and easy to color. It's very quick. For the penguins themselves, I'm going to use neutral grays. So I started with an N7, then I went in with the N5, and I'll blend that all the way through with the N3, and that's going to give us kind of like lights and darks. And it's just an easy way to color up penguins. I got a little over the edge there, so I used my colorless blender to push that back where it's supposed to be. And I'll color up the other one just the same way. And these are small little images, so you just have to add a small little bit of each color. And it's so simple. So if you haven't tried Copic markers or you have a different kind of marker, you can use the same idea of using 3 different colors and blending them through just like so. Now, of course, I had to add a little bit of blush to their cheeks. So I brought in a rose color, just adding a little bit here and there, and then blending that out with the colorless blender so it's not just like a big circle on their face, but it looks more like they're blushing. So I took some glitter paper here. I cut a strip for the very bottom of this panel, and then I'm going to add the penguins and the snowbank with some foam tape. I'll cut off the excess here from the back. There we go. Now we've got a perfect stripe of glitter. That silver glitter is so pretty. I'm using my tweezers to add these images just to keep my fingers out of the way. So I popped up that snowbank. I popped up the penguins as well with foam tape. And look how fun. They're having a really great time. Now the last thing we need to, oh, I forgot. Here is where I'm going to dust off that excess glitter. The background is completely dry now. It didn't take very long. And there we go. Now you're not going to have all the glitter falling off. And this little surface sweep is perfect for that. The last thing now is the sentiment. So I'm going to white heat emboss that on white paper. So you really won't be able to see it yet. But don't worry, because once that is dry, I'm going to add some color to that line of words. I'm using the Uncharted Mariner color, the same that matches that top tree, but I'm not going to ink it on as dark as those top trees, just a little hint of it until you can read those words. And I'll take my microfiber cloth and just wipe off the ink from the embossing powder. And then you'll be able to read, it says, "Have an ice day." Isn't that cute? So I'm just going to glue that there, try to get that on as straight as I can. And then we'll add this to the card base. And that's going to be our card. Look at how fun this is. With all that ice in the background, with the snowbank and those cute penguins. I just love this set. I mean, those penguins make me smile every time. So I hope you enjoyed this card making session today. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss all the inspiration. I'll be back soon with more cards to share. Until then, happy crafting. Bye-bye.